Hi, my name is Nariba Shepherd.
And I'm Justin Onet Graham.
And this is Terms of Service.
Oh, Rob was like jumping in like real quick.
I'm excited.
He's like, let's go. He's like, let's go. Let's do it. Absolutely. Hey, babe.
Hi.
How you doing, love?
You know how I'm doing. I am confuffled because we are recording, but there are more people than just who's usually here.
Because it's just a little BTS with Terms of Service.
Yeah,
this is fire.
It is indeed.
It's so cute.
Can we rewind? You said confuffled?
Yes.
Your vocab is impressive.
Thank you.
Listen,
I went to school.
I was like, wait. I was like, just wait until she goes. Okay, wait until she goes.
I be using words for sure.
Facts.
No, this is strange, but I enjoy it. Not feeling.
Is it
my
too
best.
much of a stage for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So this is why it's weird, because like when we're here on Sundays, I'm openly just ripping my vape while we're fucking recording.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sick today, so I'm not doing that.
Okay, good.
But also, there are people here, and I'm like, I have to have manners. But then when it's a live recording, I show up knowing, all right, this is live. Right. There will be people here. I knew that there would be people here, but it still is different. I don't know how to explain that.
Okay, great.
For sure.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Actually, like I'm on my like Aquarius shit, so I'm just vibing and I'm really happy, I'm really grateful, and I am just stoked. Like, I can relate. Yeah, it's just like I got some, an old friend, a new friend, all these other friends.
Oh my God.
Hi, friends.
Shout out to the
Yes.
friends.
I was like, can these friends make some noise, please?
See?
Thank you so very much. Yeah, I was like, let's go.
Oh my God. This is why people are confused, because we went around the whole time being like, we're recording. If you could kindly do this.
Please be quiet after this. Thank you so much. We love you so much. Thank you. Love you.
I was also going to say, though, I feel like it is a different vibe, and we have to
like I have my hair up, like I've like
you did
so what would make this vibe different than previous vibes?
Go ahead.
Well, this is part of the vibe. Usually we do our whole like 5 to 10 minute schmooze checking in with each other, and then we introduce you, the guest.
Gotcha.
But you have been like in it, so I feel like it is a casual like situation.
But I hope you all
so that's what I'm saying. Let's go to the thing. What?
I hope you all save the shit for the mic.
As much as I could. I'm a bit of a talker.
It's okay.
I tried to be mindful.
We didn't talk about anything that have to do with like him in particular. We talked about camping and whales. I have a whole theory about whale
like
sperm.
Whales or like whales like England?
Like whale sperm.
Oh,
like in the ocean.
Heard. Okay, great. Sick.
Cool. Okay. So
no. It's just sick.
I thought you wanted me to explain the fact.
No, I get it. It's whales. Yeah, sperm whales.
No, not sperm whales.
I'm good. I'm good.
I said what I said.
Yeah, and I heard differently.
All right. Well,
it's all good. So,
anywho, we did not talk about anything that we will be discussing further in this episode.
Okay, great.
But we could, though.
Yes, like what we're about to.
Now's the time for that.
Yeah,
sure.
No, absolutely. So, Rob, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm grateful.
You look like you straight chilling right now. I love it. Yeah, I was like, this is a whole ass fucking vibe.
Shout out to Lavelle. He got me loose.
Yes. I was like, let's go. And I was just like, and the loose vibes will keep coming. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
okay, so yes. But always and forever, shout out to the homie Lavelle for his support.
Indeed.
And all of these delicious beverages that we're about to enjoy. So I feel like we always kind of do this, and I don't have the best way to do it.
What's your sign?
I'm just gonna no. I was just like, yeah. I was.
I mean, I
was like,
could
let's just
give
do it.
you
Like,
my
what's the
sign, but like, I feel like when it comes to zodiac signs, people are very judgmental. It's
just give me your sign.
It's like astrological gangbanging. Like
just
you tell somebody you're a Gemini, and you're like, we don't mess with the Gemini.
Oh my God! And Lavelle's probably gonna hear this and be like,
What's your sign?
Virgo.
Acceptable.
See?
Okay, that's
See how
that's
easy
better than
that
that's
was?
better than I usually get.
What you mean?
Well,
Like it's like a common dating question. So when like women ask me, they're like, "Oh, Virgo men, like, come on now." And I'm like,
see,
what's
I
wrong
don't
with-
discriminate against gender when it comes to Virgos.
Okay.
Just against character.
No, I like a Virgo.
Okay.
Virgos, they get a bad rap because, you know, they're generally people who have like a checklist
Some
plan
perfect-
situation,
yeah.
or they like things to look aesthetically a certain way.
But what
they
is
present
what,
a certain
what is
way.
this confirmation though? Like that's the whole thing.
Security.
It's like so I was just like, okay, yes.
I mean,
yes.
yeah, in my case, there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
But you could also attribute that to being a chef as well. So there
I
might
don't
be
know.
some overlap. No?
I was a chef,
Okay.
and I'm an Aries. I was not organized. It was kind of
Okay.
organized. It was like a loose idea of organization.
And also, I just want to make it very clear, like if you could not read it or if you could not feel it, the eye roll from Rob was very significant. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's just like that.
We can't blame being organized on being a chef, because when you go home and open your door to your living quarters, it doesn't always match the energy that's like at work. Whereas with a Virgo, you're bringing that morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
It's the same setup
So
all the time.
For me, like the living space is always clean, but the bedroom, it could get away from me.
Well, you have, to
sometimes,
have,
for sure.
you have to have secrets somewhere.
Yeah, for
there
sure.
you go.
For sure.
So, even when I'm just gonna, I'm just like, even when it's strewn about. So I'm like, it's all good. So, Rob, who the hell are you? Introduce yourself to the people. We should be doing that, but
No,
we don't.
you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because no one can do it better than you.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Rob Carter.
That's right.
I am the chef and founder of Afrocentric food concept known as Diaspora.
That's fucking right, dog. Yes, I love it so
I
much.
love your hype man energy.
I do
Yeah,
because it's just like that's how I feel. That's how I feel. It is
top
what it
tier,
is at
and
this
And I
point.
appreciate it.
Yeah. It's fire.
And
dog.
I appreciate that. And if you're unfamiliar with the definition of diaspora, since we're remind me of the.
Diaspora is like
Kerfuffle.
the
Kerfuffle.
kerfuffle.
Yes. But I'll let her break it down since she started the.
Oh,
go
no.
ahead.
Diaspora is just like when you have a bunch of cultures or groups of like people, and they're dispersed outwards, and the diaspora is like the retained culture of those peoples
Spot on.
as they're traveling
Yes.
and going. I'd be a diaspora.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone's in here. So with that said, my style of cooking entails all cuisines within the Black diaspora. So that could be Southern food, Caribbean food, West African food, and so on. Depending on the events or the menu that I'm doing, I might keep things OG and traditional, or I might try to have fun with it and try to do a fusion of multiple cuisines. Since each cuisine kind
Would
of
you feel like the diaspora is kind of a fusion in and of itself?
It is. I mean, colonialism plays a big part in that, and yeah.
We know her.
Yeah, for sure.
Heard about her once or twice.
And there's certain ingredients and certain dishes that are kind of universal across the diaspora. If you think of like jambalaya, I would say like the mother of jambalaya would be jollof rice. You know what I mean?
And then the Caribbean version of that would be pilau.
There you go.
Or
See?
peas and rice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could have that alone. You could have a lot of fun with that. And there's a lot of creativity within it as well.
Yeah.
So that's all of it.
How do you
in
feel
a
about
nutshell.
doubles?
Doubles are off the chain, especially for being
Yeah,
like
I mean,
they're
doubles are
typically vegan.
absolutely like off the chain. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mine are
right?
fire too.
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I got good doubles.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You looked like you were.
Don't start no shit won't be no shit, Justin.
Okay.
Don't fucking start
Okay.
this.
I'm just.
You're in Black History Month. You're gonna come after me, a black woman, your own people.
I'm not coming after you. I'm just
Then
asking
why
about
are you
doubles.
bringing it up? Why specifically doubles? You're Jamaican. It's not even your shit.
It's not my shit.
Then why are you bringing it up?
You're right,
exactly. because I wanted me to be mad. That's why.
No, because I want to try it.
This is a story arc that he created for his fucking self.
Okay.
Where I invited him to my home to make dinner for him, but he's too fucking busy doing work all the time to be kind and gentle to himself and eat some fucking free food, and you're making me curse you out in front of all these people.
He wears a lot of hats.
Stop bringing up doubles if you don't want me to get one.
I want a goddamn double.
Yes.
Okay.
Sit down and eat a double.
Well, you know what? You could hit up multiple people like Dee's Roti Shop. She have doubles.
Yes, Dee's does have doubles.
Yeah, you could go get it there.
I want doubles from you though. It's my fault. It's my fault.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah, I love you. I love you double time.
You love to annoy me.
I love you double time.
Love to make me feel fucking crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. So, yeah.
Yeah, we don't even know what we were talking about.
I was like, I know exactly what we were talking about, but let me get there. So, Rob, can you talk to us a little bit about your background? Like who the hell you are, where you're from, all the things.
I've bounced around a bit. I was actually born in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
My mom was stationed there for the Air Force. She was a drill sergeant, and she raised me like one, and it wasn't.
You like a military? Are you like a military brat?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, she was out by the time I was like 6 or 7, and then we moved to Houston very briefly, and then from there to Chicago, then to Maywood, then to Joliet, and back to Chicago in adulthood. And so I've bounced around quite a bit.
Cool.
With that said, you kind of see a lot and you meet a lot of people, and I think that kind of adds to, you know, your perspective culturally.
Yeah, for sure.
From there, I got into cooking by way of my grandmother. She's a stereotypical Southern grandmother, always in the kitchen cooking. Soul food, yeah. You know, soul food.
Just like it's not stereotypical. It's just like because it's all anchored in love.
There isn't a negative connotation to that at all.
Yeah.
Let the folks know.
She was amazing. She was actually one of 18 kids. And
my mom is 7 out of 15.
Yeah,
my mom is 1 out of 13.
Really? Everybody's in the teens here? What are the odds of that?
Listen.
Wow.
Listen. The one thing
okay, let me preface this with she's 1 out of 8, but my grandmother adopted kids in. Okay. So 1 out of 13.
Lowenstein did the thing, and I will never forget a summer in Helena, Arkansas, which is the town that time forgot. If our demographic does not say that we have listenership in Helena, Arkansas, but you know, in the proximity, maybe shout out to Memphis because they do listen. And I just want to say this because one of my cousins brought, like, you know, a little, I don't want to say flavor of the week or just like whatever, like, you know, down to Arkansas was a whole thing. And my grandmother just wearing like a, you know, like a muumuu or whatever. She looked at me.
Truth to word.
Yes.
Muumuus are life.
Yes,
okay?
yes. And so she looked me dead in my face, and she's like, these girls out here don't know what is going on. It's like, I wore this my entire fucking life. Yeah. And I gave birth to 15 children. And I was just like, okay, Lowenstein. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, did not need to know the logistics, but I got you. Yeah. I was like, you know, it's the South. You know, and I guess, you know.
And you know, with that said, and she had 17 siblings and 3 cousins that lived. So it was 21 kids.
Jesus Christ.
All under one roof.
In this economy? That's crazy.
Listen,
it was like the early 1930s.
Oh yeah.
So, they lived on a farm. The kids were the work labor, and you know, obviously living on the farm, there isn't much to do.
Get outside.
There isn't much to do, so of course you're gonna, you know, say you're gonna
figure, exactly. You're gonna find something to do.
So yeah, she cooked for them, and that kind of carried over to like my generation of the family, where she's always making us breakfast. When it's holidays, she's always cooking big meals and big dinners. And even like within cooking for us, she has like a whole separate thing she's cooking for like her church that she's going to drop off pans of food for later on. So I think like just being in her kitchen and being in her house, seeing that even at a young age, I was able to see the value in it and how food can work for family and community. And that stuck with me, even though I first went to school for communications, and it didn't really resonate with me. I thought I'd be on sports talking TV, or excuse me, be on TV talking sports.
Got you.
The first tracks.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Thank you.
For sure.
But I just can't get past like writing articles. I like to be up, moving around, express myself creatively. So then eventually I ditched that and jumped into culinary arts. So.
It's the pipeline. I didn't say shit.
Yeah, I was just like...
I was like, that's a pipeline. It exists. Yeah. I went to college for one thing, but now I cook for a living.
Yeah. I feel like our industry finds people more often than not.
And I think because it's an industry that's based on not necessarily a classical training background anymore.
Sure.
And I am grateful for that, because I had a chef that went to culinary school and was like, don't do it if you don't have to. Because there are people that are willing to teach you this, and it's more pragmatic for like being on your feet in the kitchen immediately versus going to culinary school, learning about a bunch of things that are only practical if you have all of the time in the world. And because of capitalism, we don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
That part. So, I'd like to talk about how, because obviously we talked a bit about your grandmother, but I also want to hear about like what compelled you to do the work that you're doing now.
You could also say a paycheck, and that's fine too, because
no, there's far easier ways to make money than selling food, honestly. So it's not a paycheck. Well,
especially in this fucking market,
actually,
it's hard out here.
Actually, it kind of is, because let me
never mind.
Let me explain.
Paint the picture.
So I had Diaspora as a concept in my mind for like over a decade, but it's only about 2 years old. I had a roommate. I had a roommate situation where two of them broke the lease, so I ended up paying suddenly triple the amount of rent that I thought I would be paying. So I had to that kind of forced me to bring this idea to fruition, just to make ends meet in addition to my job. So like a second stream of income.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it eventually just started to take off and become its own thing and become sustainable. So it got to a point where like I'm looking at like my actual work paychecks and what I got paid for working, 2 pop-ups this week, catering gig the week before that. And I'm like, it doesn't really make sense for me to stay here. So that's when I broke off and did my own thing. And actually,
and you popped up here.
Yeah. This is my first pop-up. We did a corner store inspired like street food menu. And I think that speaks to the diaspora in a different way beyond just ingredients and certain dishes, because there are cultural food experiences that are specific to, certain demographics, right? My very first memory that I feel like was a dining experience, even though it's not a traditional dining experience, is like going to the corner store after church, and my parents would give me $5 and I get a bag of Crunchy Curls and some Fruities, and one of those little Huggy barrels with the foil.
I tried to explain that shit to someone the other day, and they were like, Guzzlers? I was like, different.
No.
Guzzlers has the top.
My whole thing was Reese's Pieces, dog. Like, it just like there was a corner store on the top of the hill in Helena, Arkansas, and $5. I thought I was like the fucking king of the world.
Mine was a Jamaican beef patty, but as a sandwich, it'd be between two pieces. I'm gonna hit you if you say it one more time. Tell me what the ingredients of a doubles is right now.
I've never had
You
your
just
double. I
saying
don't know.
fucking words.
I'm just talking.
So
I'm
Jamaican
just
beef patty with ketchup and American cheese between two pieces of white bread. Like who the fuck?
Very bodega.
And that was like the shit.
Yeah.
I not gonna lie. I moved to an apartment that's real close to this like African Jamaican market, and they have like their own frozen beef patties. It's like golden crust is next. Yes.
Okay,
it's just in like when you get meat at the deli counter, it's like wrapped like that. And so I get those, and now I too can have a bodega experience Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before work.
Yeah.
That's my snack.
Also, can we just do like a quick like little cheers to?
Oh yes,
of course.
Cheers, cheers.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like cheers.
Fabric of every hood in America.
I was like,
honestly.
let's go, and also cheers here.
Oh my God.
Yes. So, brought to you by our wonderful friend Lavelle Miller. Thank you so very much. And so this is with Bayap Classic Dry Gin with Chinola Mango and topped with tonic, and it is delicious and it's a vibe.
See,
we're gonna have plenty more coming.
The problem with this drink is that it tastes like I want to drink all of it, but we have
That's
more
low
drinks.
That's low key a patio pounder.
Yeah.
It's a patio
And
pounder.
I fear that I have to finish this one because I like it. So, yeah.
And you know what? I was just like, you're in for a journey.
It's a Super Bowl today.
So,
I ain't
like,
doing
there we
shit
go.
after this.
Yeah, I was just like, we chilling, we vibing.
Yeah.
Continue, Rob.
So with that said, I mean, we're all speaking a language. We all get it. Even though I'm not, you don't really have to articulate it. So with that said, that's
how black folks like just look at one another.
Yeah, we speak like telepathically.
Like,
So with that said, the concept resonated with a lot of people. I mean, they were taking orders at the bar, and there was 2 lines, and one line stretched from the bar to the DJ booth, and the other line stretched like out.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Then,
that's how it should be. Yes.
And it was very validating because it was my first pop up, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
No.
And you're putting this idea.
Was that overwhelming though, or was it just like
yes and no? I mean, it's not overwhelming like logistically from what I used to. I mean, I've been in the trenches of the industry for quite some time, 9 years now. COVID stole a year, so if you want to say 8, whatever. But it could be overwhelming that it's your own idea now, and you're running things, and
so there's the element of like vulnerability.
Yeah,
to it,
exactly.
and,
you're putting yourself
higher
out there.
Expectations.
That's how I felt with Trinizaddy after the fucking like
Trinizaddy's
Chicago
fucking fire.
magazine the article came out, like sauces for the summer. I was like, oh no, I can't do this for a living. Immediately panicked. I was like, no, sir.
You're like,
So the Blind Barber pop-up was highly successful. Even the way that it came to be, like I was actually
Loki, can I mention this?
What?
Because correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this also where Janelle Monáe was at?
She was standing right there.
Janelle Monáe with my emotional support dummy.
Yes.
That shit was lit. And that was your first pop-up.
That was my second.
That was your second. Okay, word.
Listen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I
Listen.
When I got the text for that, I ended up quitting my job.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, Janelle Monáe ate my food. I don't need to work for you anymore.
I was working for
Uber
corporate.
I got too excited.
They have a company they hired called Bon Appetit. It was a strategic move to work with them because I wanted catering experience for when eventually I broke off and did my own thing. Not only that, but it was Monday through Friday, which is rare for industry jobs, and it let me be able to work Saturdays and Sundays for my own side hustle at the time. I was getting a lot of shit from like HR and management for doing my own thing outside of work. I was sitting in offices for like an hour or two getting lectured and like
you could be using that time doing other shit.
Yeah. But they like to prove a point. So, I was getting a lot of shit at work, and as I was walking into the old post office, I get the text from Rob, I don't know if he's the owner of Blind. Okay.
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Robs.
Yeah. Yes.
Asking me if I wanted to do some food for Janelle Monáe's listening party at Blind Barber.
Girl.
I'm pulling out my key card. I'm like getting ready to scan in, and I'm like,
let me pull that back real quick.
So I ended up walking out. I went to Viet 5 and got some coffee.
Yes.
And that was it.
Can we all just talk about one time where you just like left a job and it felt real good?
Yeah, and that was the only time I've ever done that.
I've only done it twice in a capacity that was like fuck you, and the first time was over racism and misogyny. I was like, I'm not gonna do either of those things, and I like literally came into work, was like, I'm not doing this, and just left, and I went immediately to Pause and hung out in a room of cats.
Nice.
And then the next day I went back and I got a cat. And then I needed to find a job. But my priorities were set.
Yeah.
And then the second time, the food and beverage director, on his day off, after firing half of the staff, was like, I changed your schedule, so you have to open for the hotel's breakfast service by yourself. And you don't have any backup staff, like line cooks, coming in until 11, because they're on catering right now. And I called up my boss and immediately started cursing. And he's like, I am in bed with my wife. I will call you right back. And he showed up within an hour, got on the phone with the beverage director, and he was like, today's actually my day off, so I'm not going to be able to come in and help you. This is your time to shine. Show us what you can do. And Rick Olemacher called his wife and said, if I walk out of this job right now, is that okay? And she said, yes. And we walked out together. And I taught him how to play drunk driving on Mario Kart while eating tacos because he had a nanny that day. And we had just walked out of our job.
I don't even know what that means on Mario Kart.
What?
I get it.
Drunk driving?
I mean, I can't drive.
You can't drive and drink at the same time. You got to put down your drink, but you have to finish your drink before the end of the 3 laps and win.
Oh.
Within the game, though. This isn't like...
not like in real life.
Okay,
This is on TV, in the safety of your home.
Yes.
Yeah.
While you are stationary.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Drink responsibly.
Yes. So...
We just went on a side tangent from when he quit his job because Janelle Monáe was here to eat his food.
Yeah.
She's
right there.
No,
right there.
where my ass is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My ass and her ass, same ass.
Exactly. So I was just like, that. There you go. So I think that it's really important for people to kind of be able to differentiate from, the idea of, quote unquote, the standard pop-up versus what you have achieved and what you look to put out into the world, right? So how does that diversify? Like how does that differ?
I think an intentionality more than anything.
Yeah.
I feel like pop-ups are a cool alternative to like fast food. Usually it's like really casual. No, don't. This is not.
But also like no.
My point is that it's casual. It's casual food, right?
Well, I was gonna just say that Chicago has been the city to redefine what fast food looks like because there are so few actual fast food restaurants. I know like we see them around, but compared to like other cities, Chicago is kind of like where major companies and brands test product because we are very inclusive in how we consume food and media.
And we're very responsive as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Notice how I said we with Chicago? We. I've been here over 10 years, y'all.
Let's go.
So I think with what I do, there's a storytelling aspect to it. there's always a nod to culture, and there's always an effort to try to bridge gaps between cultures within the diaspora, as well as welcome people outside of it to the table to understand us better. You know what I mean? And just have some bomb ass food, like. Y'all, if you ain't had doubles, you missing out on some good shit. You know what I mean?
Dog,
so that's
my dog.
So that's
sorry.
That's the point.
I'm not saying nothing else.
I'm sorry.
I'm fighting for my life.
No apologies necessary.
That might have been too spicy. I'm instigating just a tad.
It's not even your fault. I don't even blame you.
But
I'm still blaming Justin.
But they don't have shit to do with me.
So yeah, there's an aspect of storytelling and culture involved always. I have actually a pop-up at Drip Collective coming up, and the theme of the menu is going to be like Jamaican and Chinese inspired. Because a lot of people don't realize that Chinese immigrants actually have a lot of influence on Jamaican cuisine. Like, how do you think soy sauce found its way into like, jerk marinade, right? So the next menu is gonna kind of put a head nod towards that, and I think that separates me from everybody else. The menu's always rotating, so
yeah. And also, I think that there is such a like ingrained cultural aspect to it as well, and some people are like, oh, Justin, you bring up education too much. And it's like, I was just like, okay, well, stay dumb. I don't give a shit. But it's just like,
the government's trying to take that away from us. So.
Getting ready to say it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, stay educated.
Educate yourself.
Yeah, I was like, please stay educated.
Who said that?
Out there.
Lilo and Stitch.
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch.
Oh!
Sorry. Don't boo me. Please don't boo me.
Wait. But that is from Lilo and Stitch, right? When he's like, educate yourself. Someone. Anyone? Just me?
Great, fantastic.
Thank you.
Love it so much.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the two alien bitches. Well, there's a lot of alien bitches in there, but
I was just like,
baby aliens.
I was like, not the person that just told you that, though.
No.
Okay, great. I was like,
what?
I'm gonna make that really clear. I was like, of course not. I didn't even turn him on. I didn't know what was going on. No.
You're an alien.
Yes.
You're an Aquarius.
Bitch. The head nod?
Also an Aquarius.
Not needed.
Also an Aquarius.
Not needed, but also same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same.
Well,
I was like, I love it so much. So, this is fucking wild. And
you gotta.
And I love
yourself.
it. No, but like I love it. I love it this way. And so, before, and I know it's gonna seem like we're getting like into the nitty gritty of it, but like we're only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
We touched upon pop-ups, right? And that's fine, great. But so with the work that you're doing and the intentionality that anchors your portfolio and your overall body of work, that's difficult to hold on to. That's difficult to grow.
Absolutely.
And, it's not all sunshines and fucking fairy tales over here.
No.
So, within reason, can you talk to us about some of the obstacles that you have navigated, overcame, you've pivoted through, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, but
not the pivot.
Obstacles will make you pivot. Absolutely.
So I think the first thing that comes to mind, and it wasn't even like on my mind when I like initially started to tell people about Diaspora and what I planned on doing, was, I guess, like how well it would cross over to other cultures. I would explain Diaspora as a concept and people would be like, oh, what about white people? And I'm like, what about white people? Like anybody, it's just food. Like anybody can eat it. Like it's not, and I got that a lot, but it's not a question that people ask when they go to like a Mexican restaurant or like a Chinese restaurant or. So I was
drawing parallels.
Yeah. So I was really like taken back by it
because there's an expectation to over-explain for something that's black anchored, something that's black focused,
or to try to make it more palatable. When I feel like that would be robbing people of the point of everything.
That's why I just don't be saying shit sometimes. You just gotta let people talk long enough to know that they are the one that has the problem.
Yeah, so it's like, I'd get questions like, oh, well, I'm not black. Can I come to this event? And I'm like,
your money's green.
Yes, exactly. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So, money's green, check clears.
But that's like what we talked about with Lavelle when we were saying that, like, because we have been so othered and we are so othered within the black and brown community as well, and we want other people to know that this is different and not everything is for them. I think wanting so much and not having set boundaries makes people uncomfortable. And when people are uncomfortable, they ask more questions. And I think that in order to like feel like a change is happening in a way that feels good, like we're not doing the labor, it's going to have to be action based, and people are going to have to see this pattern happening over and over and over until, just like, we don't see the trees in the forest, but we know it's trees. It's like, that's what we have to work towards, but we didn't break it 400 years ago.
Right.
So like, it's not up to us to solve generational traumas, but we are fighting it with our own existence. Like, by just doing what you're doing and walking through the like hellscape that is the service industry here in Chicago and trying to like get your shit out there, you can see where the issues are, and you're not explaining shit to anyone. So I like that.
Yeah,
pop off.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, this is black culture. This is a black experience, but anybody can pull up. It's not that deep. What I want people to do is, again, within the diaspora and outside of it, is to get a feel for the culture, and then when they leave the walls of wherever I'm popping up at or serving food at, to go find the real thing afterwards, right? And just that journey to go do that, you'll end up in spaces with people that you're not typically around, right? And that's kind of where I'm trying to like get people in the direction to doing. Yeah. And that's how you bridge gaps, and that's where people learn culture, and it's deeper than food at that point.
Yeah. And so do you feel a responsibility to provide consumer like education that leads in the direction of the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how does that feel?
It's a heavy burden, but it gives me a reason to wake up in the morning and do what I do. It's not just about the dollar. It's not just about the dollar. It is about the dollar because I explained my story, but at this point, it's not about the dollar. And I feel like that's a blessing because not many people can say that.
True.
So, and also, I feel like it could possibly pave the way for other chefs like me, where this idea, where we're pulling our influence and inspiration from becomes normalized, and people seek this out more, and it becomes more accepted. We have, Tatiana in New York, we have Dogon in DC, Bronze in DC, Khan in Portland, and we have black restaurants here.
Khan in Portland.
We have black restaurants here, but I want to put something out that's progressive, and I want
P word.
Yes,
I like it.
Well, and also it's really important, right, to where these Black-owned establishments actually activate the community in which they're situated, as opposed to just being placed there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because that is not enough. It has been proven time and time again that it is simply not enough. I just want to make that statement publicly again.
I'm going to say something because I've been thinking about this a lot. So in high school, I was always trying to convince my older brother and my older sister to allow me to go to Webster Hall, because in New York, because I was in Jersey, and in New York, they had like 18 whatever like clubs you can like go. But because I am Afro-Caribbean and not African-American, they were like, listen, it's different. We don't want you to go there. It's not going to be safe, blah, blah, whatever. So fast forward to me discovering this Instagram called Club One Bedroom. And it's about like these DJs who do like events at Webster Hall, all this shit. They're going to be traveling across the country doing this. And I'm like, hell yeah, they're going to be in Chicago. I can't wait to go do this thing. My best friend got me tickets. Shout out to Rochelle. We're going after my birthday.
But
I am nervous. I'm nervous because I have never been in like a predominantly Black African American space like that. And I'm excited because I like the music, but I get in my own head about it because people think of me differently than I think of myself. And knowing that I'm from Trinidad, people are always like, but you're not like American Black. And I'm like, yeah, but I like that music though. It's from everywhere. It's from where I'm from. It's from Africa. It's from South America. Like, it's an amalgamation. So I'm excited to go to this thing because I have to get a dress code outfit.
Love it.
Cream, tan, and something else. I don't know, but if anyone out there knows where I can get a matching set, suggest some things. I don't be shopping online. But like, I think that I'm trying to get over the separation that was instilled in me by my family. Yeah. And I'm also fighting with them about it because I'm like, other Black people in America aren't the fucking problem. Most other people in America aren't the problem. There's like one denomination of people, but we allegedly don't talk about that here. So I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah, I think with our generation, there's more of a curiosity of other cultures within our diaspora.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're having these conversations that we're having now, whereas opposed to our parents, they probably and I'll even go as far, they might have even like prejudices against other cultures within the diaspora.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that we don't have that problem, and we're having the conversations now. Whether or not we reap all the benefits of those conversations remains to be seen. But I feel like this is like definitely a step in the right direction for sure. And even with what you're doing and where you're going is a step in the right direction. So.
I mean, I'm hoping that the comet hits us in 2032. I'm not lying. We need a reset, like a hard reset button. But no, like the only thing that I feel like I want to put all of my energy in right now is within the food service industry, getting customers who have no food service experience whatsoever to recognize us as human beings and to treat us with the same value and respect that we treat them when they come into our spaces. That we create memories and special occasions for them, and we're sacrificing that for ourselves. That's what I want to get across. Everything else is like an extra learning experience.
And I want those people to be checked when they don't.
Yeah.
Like that
the customer's always right. That shit's out.
Oh, I can't talk about that. I got in trouble at work for saying that.
Also, I just think that it's it's a way of expressing this, like classism, it's just like, well, I mean, like, I'm supposed to be right. I was just like, but you're so far from fucking right. I was just like, you're so lucky that I'm here for a fucking mediocre fucking paycheck that is generated off of the gratuity of fucking strangers, as opposed to the people that I fucking work for. So therefore, at this moment, I'm at your beck and call, and I just am never able to fully wrap my head around how there's such a curiosity for support, but there's inaction for the reality of support.
Yes.
Sure.
And that's something that I will scream from the fucking rooftops, because I'm like, oh, like, why aren't you like doing this and like doing that? It's just like, we're trying our fucking best here. Like,
I am literally pretending not to be mentally ill for 8 hours a day for a paycheck. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
We should normalize that.
Yeah, like, it shouldn't be. And it's just like, but
if you're depressed, I'm probably depressed too.
But the onus is on the individual. It's not on the resource or lack of resources from the establishment.
Yeah.
And that is where it just becomes so increasingly frustrating, and there is that escape through, traditional brick and mortar establishments, but there is a different level of escapism.
I think people also like niche shit.
Yeah.
People just like niche ass shit.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But does anyone ask to why?
Okay, so it might just be me, but America really likes the individual. So anything that could be seen as this isn't like what everyone else is doing, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. Bitches love that shit here in America. Mm-hmm. That's why in Trinidad, fucking Pizza Hut is poppin', because it's niche to there. Right. Like, everywhere in America, there's a Pizza Hut. No one gives a fuck about Pizza Hut. But I'll tell you, on my birthdays, 3 through 9...
Book It was lit. Book It was lit. I love a fucking book. I got a fucking, like, plastic-ass star on a shitty-ass pen.
Fair.
Sign me up. I was like, it was the best thing. I was like, I'll read every fucking book up in here.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I didn't. I
loved it.
I went to Paris a few years ago, and there was a Five Guys near my hotel.
Bruh.
And when I tell you there was a line.
Yes.
I'm talking, and you're on vacation, so you're out making moves early. It's like 10 in the morning, and we're outside, like, just walking around, and there's a line, like, stretched like 30 people long, waiting in front of the door at Five Guys. And I'm like,
one man's trash is another man's treasure.
There is a place that just recently fucking opened, not too far from where we are right now. We'll talk about it off my...
Why did you bring it up then?
Because I'm alluding to it right now.
But you can't allude to something that everyone knows about. What is it?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the corner store?
No, I'm talking about the fucking corner store. I'm talking about a significant...
The cop-loving one?
Bitch, I am talking about a fucking hotel property that has a celebrity white chef.
We'll stick a pin in that.
Exactly. It's just like it's
circle back.
It's entirely fine. But and actually, let me keep going in that.
You could have written it down.
I can text it to you. Give me one moment. It was really interesting because that is a group that has claimed a ton. That is a individual that has claimed a ton, and their husband has been an advocate, but everything has been on trend, right? And I just get so tired of trying to validate what is happening through what the fuck people are doing, right? Like, because you want, in a certain capacity, like, you want to be seen, you want to be felt, you want to be heard, you want all of these things, right? But that it's through what lens and what guise, right? And that is the number one fucking frustration in my entire existence. And it's just, it's something that becomes dehumanizing with the hopes of ascension. But you're like, okay, like, I can align with these people, and you know, they're gonna give me a shot. It's like whatever, but like, not by opinion and not by observation, but by action. It is consistently to where it's like, you know, I'm gonna keep you here. Because there's no one to challenge it back, right?
Yeah.
And when you start challenging it back, then it becomes a very different conversation to where it's like, oh, well, they're too difficult to work with, or, you know, just like, who do they think that they are?
And that's always in the back of your mind.
But it's not only in the back of our minds, it's always like in the forefront of theirs.
For sure.
And their actions follow.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, well, why haven't I heard from these people? But it's not just them. Sometimes it be our own people, which is crazy because when we...
Did you like that, little man? That's for all the fucking doubles comments at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah,
brought to you by
because he was cooking. He was cooking just now. All right, let's see if you can find that train of thought.
You know what? I was like, let's just run it back real quick because
please
as we were continuing this conversation, we were enjoying the Rose Club.
Yeah.
And so that was with the Buy-Up African Rose with raspberry syrup, lemon, and foam bitters, which is absolutely fucking delicious.
Yeah, and very like vegetal.
Yeah, and like I crushed that. And thank you so very much. Back to what I was trying to articulate.
No, you're entirely
fine. It was you know exactly where to get me. But I just know in general like how much it means to put so much behind something that feels validating, right? And the issue is that we feel validation outside of our own community as opposed to the community that we're a part of. And yes, we can talk about socioeconomic statuses. Yes, we can talk about, you know, trauma. We can talk about all of these different things. But the reality is just like, if we're not going to show up for the person next to us, it's very difficult for us to even formulate an idea of support for a stranger.
No, 100%. I think it has to start with the people next to you before it can go beyond that.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree. 100%.
Right, because all of these people need to be advocates for the cause, right?
Yeah.
Like, they need to be ambassadors for the vision. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's, you know, it's a hill to climb, but it's your hill to climb. Like, and
I would go further than both of you and say you have to start with yourself, because if you're not putting the oxygen mask on you first, how can you save anyone else, let alone a community?
That part.
So like, you can try to do the thing, but you have to realize that like you can't do it alone.
Right.
And yes, you need to bring the people in around you, but you need to know what your journey is gonna be, and it has to be real and it has to be for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Then
you have to commit to it.
Yeah.
You have to commit to it.
Do you feel like that's in line, you know, with what Nariba had just mentioned and what I just went on a whole fucking diatribe about? Do you feel that that's in line with aspects of your journey? And if so, how does...
He quit his job for Janelle Monáe. That's my takeaway. That's my takeaway. I know.
But I guess
understand.
to an extent for
I understand.
To an extent for Janelle Monáe too. But
I understand what you're saying, but what I heard was
listen. If I met Janelle Monáe,
yep.
I mean, it just.
Yeah.
There would be signs.
Yeah.
There would be signs. There would be signs. There would be signs.
She, not to stand, but she definitely has an aura about her too. As she walked in through the back door in the kitchen, and I didn't even I'm working.
You didn't even notice?
Yeah. I noticed. Yeah. Not initially though. I'm working and I'm cooking. And I'm pulling things out the fryer, and then I turn around.
Oh, I need that mic up. I need
sorry.
that. Yeah.
I'm cooking, and I'm pulling things out the fryer, and I'm turning around, and then she's just walking, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
How? Hi. Yeah. Glad to have you here. Yeah. And
you're happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's great.
She walked in with her homegirls, and they were already lit before they even walked in the door. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Right.
But to circle back to your main point.
Yes.
She's the fuck you thought? She's we throwing it in a circle out here.
Yeah. From celebrities to our everyday people, the validation that I get through walking through dining rooms, and I try to do that as much as possible for my dinners and my pop-ups when things start to wind down. So just go and talk to people and see how their experience was and connect with them on a personal level. To hear that they feel seen, or to hear that my concept in the food resonates with them, fuels me in a way that money can't.
Could never.
Right.
Yeah. It keeps me going, and I think it's the thing that'll keep my ship going to the point where I'll end up at the destination where I need to be. It all starts with taking care of our people first, just like my grandmother takes care of our family and her community and so on. So really, I'm taking that energy and articulating it through food that represents the diaspora. So, and people,
would you say they're eating that shit up?
Yeah. It's not tangible, but when you feel it, you understand it. That's universal.
I will say that I do miss that era of chef life where I could create an entire menu that tells a story, whereas now I get to create one drink that might tell a story, or it just might be how I felt when I woke up one day and I was like, I want to drink that.
Yeah.
I just for some reason thought about the hot dog beverage. Thank you.
Hot dog. Oh.
Thank you for that.
Was that at the Hoxton?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
I
think about
Can
that
you make
drink.
some noise?
I think about that drink
Katie.
often.
Oh, was that Katie?
Katie.
Okay,
I was like, Katie McCoy, can we?
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I was like, can we all make some noise for Katie McCoy right now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out to Katie.
Yes, I was like, there we go.
Legend.
Yes, let's go.
But I do be thinking about that drink a lot, though. Never had it, but I'm like, hot dog water? Yes. That's not what it was called. And that's not what it tastes like.
She's
I know, but I like
She's like,
dogs.
do not put that out there. She's like, no.
I know.
No. But yeah, no, it was as someone that sits at the end of the bar of the Hoxton, that shit was flying. So, yeah, it was
I was
lit.
upset that I didn't get
That's
to
dope.
try it, but that's my fault. I don't go outside.
It's not good. We about to figure it out right now.
No, let her live her life.
No, it's not. That's fair. That's fair. So, I have tons of questions, but I don't want to I don't want to jump too far.
I mean,
ahead
all
right
the
now.
questions that I am interested in asking are for example, in your family life, was cooking a big thing growing up?
Grandmother.
No,
But
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Grandmother for sure.
Yes.
But aside from that, no, I had to teach myself how to cook.
Same.
My dad worked
dad
worked like super late hours, and my mom works for United Airlines. So when I was in high school, they were actually sending jobs over to India. So she had to go to India and live there for like a year and a half.
Dang.
So,
really?
Yeah. So
wow.
I had a couple cousins that lived with me. So me and my cousins, we pretty much lived by ourselves, which is not ideal for teenagers.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
I was raised by my siblings.
But you get tired of like eating hot dogs and
never.
I drink a hot dog cocktail. Katie, don't take.
Katie.
I will eat from the age of 5 to 8. I would only eat my entire meal if it was accompanied with a hot dog. Like my mother, when she unlocked that code, she was like, she'll eat anything if a hot dog is next to it. Like I'm still thinking about hot dogs.
Very quirky, but I dig that. But hot dogs and fried bologna sandwiches, but I'll still see.
I love a fried bologna.
I have a fine dining riff on a fried bologna sandwich that I'm gonna debut in the summertime. So
I'm down.
Be on the lookout for that. But
Heard.
anyways, you do get tired of like ramen noodle casseroles and shit like that. So you have to teach yourself how
that
to
is
cook.
the most American thing you've said today. Ramen noodle casserole? What the fuck is that?
It's valid. It's valid.
Taking shit out your cabinets and trying to make something out of it.
Okay.
You know
what?
Toast with butter and cinnamon sugar.
Yes.
I'll still eat that though. Yeah, I'm never.
That is good. That will always be solid.
That. Yeah.
Now I want to make a ramen casserole. Y'all got me fucked up with that one. I never thought about that option.
But you have to teach yourself how to cook. So knowing that my grandmother is the cook that she was, whenever I would go and visit her, I would shadow her in the kitchen, and then I would come and like bring that back to my kitchen and try to replicate it.
Okay.
And then once I started to kind of get a handle on cooking, like the basics of it, living by myself, I had all my homeboys over all the time. We drink and get stoned, and I just make food for everybody. And we come back from parties, and I fire up the grill at 2 a.m. and be 10, 15 of us, and that would be a thing. And
I would say that's probably the genre of me getting into cooking, being stoned in college, and all of my friends are like, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, I have a rudimentary understanding of a stove.
Yeah.
So we can get into it.
Yeah. So that's kind of how that kicked off. And
then born of that legwork to Diaspora, were you always interested in like the range of cultural foods out there, and do you always try to pull it in from like your home base and then connect with what's around?
Yeah, that's always where it starts naturally, because like I mentioned my grandmother before, that's what I grew up with, and then everything is kind of adjacent to that.
Fair.
If you ever seen my logo, it has 3 heads. I call those the ancestors, and they're like the 3 pillars of what I do.
Yes.
So each face represents Caribbean food, Southern food, and West African food.
Hell yeah.
And they're all interconnected, representing being interconnected by Africa, right?
Okay.
So with that said, Southern food is the main pillar, and then Caribbean food and West African food are kind of like supporting the main pillar. So,
sorry, and I'm actually like not sorry at all, because I feel like it's the perfect time to mention what we were just sipping on, which is a West African gimlet with bayab, palm, and pineapple, and also chinola, passion fruit, lime, and sugar.
This one's off
and
the chain.
So my whole thing is just like I will fuck up a goddamn gimlet. Okay?
Yeah.
Do not talk to me. And so on that note, I'm gonna continue drinking this, and y'all don't have to talk to me right now.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to in the next year of Diaspora?
Well, let me mention my immediate future.
Yeah.
First, because I am trying to sell tickets right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So next Saturday we have a dinner called Diaspora Glover. That's going to be in collaboration with Alase, which is a supper club concept, a West African supper club concept. Similar to what I do, but more traditional.
Okay.
And then we have a new concept called Idle Drive that does cocktails and like hi-fi music and DJ, a vinyl concept and whatnot. So we're all collaborating on something this Saturday. Tickets are still on sale. If you don't follow me on IG, follow my business page at.
And you're like missing out. If you don't like, if you like,
right?
So you just going out.
Yeah, at Diaspora. That's DIASPORA _Chicago. We have ticket links all in our bios, so definitely pull up on us for that.
I love how you paused, like. If someone's like writing it down right now,
yeah,
you
and they
pause
gotta pull out their
so
phone
and
open up IG, and
I love it.
Very mindful. For this year of Diaspora, what I'm looking forward to is transitioning from pop-ups more to supper clubs.
Okay,
because
like
that's
a residency.
Because that's what it was really supposed to be in the first place. Strategically, I felt like doing pop-ups first would get my name out there quicker.
Yeah.
Doing easy, accessible food where I could touch, 50 to 100 people, as opposed to doing like 20 people for, $175, $200.
Fair.
So that was the game plan. And now I'm at a point where I feel like I have a decent following and a respected brand. Now I can do something more intentional for a higher price point. And that's where I really want to be, not because it brings me more money, but because I can be more thoughtful about it.
I always say let people find their ways to support you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just a lot of it just has to come with like minimization, right? Like we want to make ourselves smaller to fit into something else. But the reality is, it's just like, okay, well, it's just like, but I'm the thing. I'm the thing. I'm the thing.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. And that should be celebrated. That should be amplified.
Yep.
So, and with that, because damn, Lavelle, the shit is fucking fire.
It is.
Negroni.
So I was just like, okay, come through Negroni. So we have a Marula Negroni with Bayab, orange, and Marula, sweet vermouth, and bitter liqueur. Listen. I'm just like,
this one's off the chain.
I was like, this all.
Yeah, he hasn't missed yet. Bayab hasn't missed yet.
I was like, let's spirits. All
yeah.
Stop. Respectfully, stop. But
do you mean that for real? Because he has more drinks to come out.
No, I just mean like
you're just
me,
like black hyping.
I was just like, I'm just being black.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm doing. And so, how do you want Diaspora to be impactful beyond the table, beyond the pop-up, beyond,
but also you
nomadic.
don't have to
you don't
do that either. You could just be whatever you want to be. No pressure.
I mean, beyond the table, I've kind of touched on that a bit already. Just bringing people.
I just want to ask it directly.
Of course.
It's just like
Some people are going to be like bringing people outside of the diaspora into the fold. I think that's really needed in like today's time, considering where this country is at and who we have steering the ship of this country, and we need to understand each other as much now as like ever before. And I feel like if we can, it's a very simple gesture, but if we could do that together over some food, I think that's a great starting point.
Yeah, but also that's like, I mean, that's timeless.
It is.
That's fucking timeless.
It is, but everybody doesn't experience that.
Exactly. Not everyone be invited to the table.
No, I know. No, absolutely. But I'm just I'm just mentioning that. Yeah,
you can tell by the way that the polls showed up for this election that everybody has not had that experience before, and I want to make that more accessible.
Yeah.
Listen, that's what I'm saying when I say things like, in America, these issues are more prevalent because the idea of individualism has been pushed so much that people cannot see beyond themselves to protect even the most vulnerable amongst us in the community. So, in order for us to be better, we have to look to those who are most vulnerable and help them get the protections that they need.
Yeah.
And right now, people are focusing, oddly enough, like black people, we are kind of secondary to who they're coming for these days.
Which
it's
is
the
a
queers.
weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's wild.
They're coming for the queers.
I'm still checking these boxes though.
Same. Same, but for some reason, I feel like my blackness isn't the problem as much as it is me being a woman or being queer or
Latino
standing up for my trans siblings. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff that they put it out there for us to separate ourselves on. And now, as a society, we're trying to come back together. And I may be a simple bitch, but food fixes a lot of problems for a lot of people.
I was just like, I mean,
they're also trying to take that away from the children too. So
I was just like, that's another.
Listen, we have to remember it. We have to talk about it, and we have to kind of laugh about it because we've been in worse situations than this. It just seems like the end of time because of how many freedoms we had access to.
Right.
But this is literally not the worst thing that could be happening.
Right.
That's for 2032 when the asteroid hits us. Sorry, I'm real into that right now.
No, I can tell. I thought you were hitting at things like Jim Crow, and she's like,
no.
I mean that, but the asteroid.
She's like, but that asteroid.
No.
It's like that asteroid is coming right now. It's coming right now. No, absolutely.
Rights, who had him? Not me. Never.
So, as we are approaching time,
we really are. Damn.
I would love to hear your thoughts on advice.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants to
walk this path.
Yeah.
It's
giving don't.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's a labor of love.
I don't want to say don't, but that's because I could write a book at this point.
Yeah.
Do it. Bitches be writing books about less. Do it.
I might.
They be saying less, dog.
Mm-hmm. I almost made a joke about a podcast.
When it comes to finances, sign contracts because they like to pay you late. No matter who, they love to pay you late.
Listen,
hold people accountable on that front.
Shout out to legal.
Stay true to yourself culturally. I feel like this whole surge of pop-ups came to be after the pandemic, and a lot of chefs pivoted from fine dining to things that they grew up eating.
Yep.
And that's where that sprung from. And it's still here. It's still prevalent. Do not water your shit down.
No.
You will find your crowd first. Your crowd will preach your gospel, and then everybody will come after that. Just be patient. It's going to take some time.
That's another thing. Time. People don't want that. They don't want to be waiting for it.
Yeah, it's not... Like Justin said, there are going to be ups and downs. So when you're in that down phase, understand that it's temporary as long as you keep going and doing what you're doing. And
seeds take a while to germinate and grow.
Yeah.
But then you get a plant.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my main thing that I'll say. It's simple, but it can't be said enough.
So let me fuck this up then.
Okay.
What do you wish someone told you about their experience in this lane?
Don't expect industry etiquette for better or for worse. That means the toxic stuff and the good stuff. You won't have to deal with the toxic chef or the toxic work environment, but you will have to deal with bad business ethics.
Yes.
Like I said, being paid late and professionalism. I've pulled up to pop-ups where the majority of my product on my menu, they would have to order. And I prep a little bit of it, but they would order the bulk of it, and I would get here, and we're about to open in an hour, and my shit is not here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would reflect back on me. So I'm put in a position where I have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Or I would come to another bar, and they would open the bar, 45 minutes late, and now I'm running behind. And again, I'm the pop-up, so that would reflect back on me.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that. Do what you can to mitigate that by being early, being as prepared and as prepped up as you can be up until the point that you need to serve food. And just, this isn't to put a anxious energy out there, but always just be prepared for the worst to happen.
No, put that anxious energy out there. People don't have enough respect for the work that industry people do, and I think that everyone thinks that if they can
for it as well,
I think
the reality of the industry, because people feel like it's just this.
People think that they can cook at home in their kitchen and they can open a restaurant.
I feel like this is gonna be like the coolest,
and it's
thing
not
ever.
the same.
Like, no, it's not.
It doesn't translate the same way.
I was like, the eggs are burnt, and you don't even know what like a fucking cool down situation is, or a holding situation, a holding temperature. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So.
And no one's expecting you to do that at home. No one's expecting you to do that. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's the fucking reality.
Yeah.
And people kind of facilitating this facade is very unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be early, be professional. This is your brand. Nobody's going to take it as serious as you're going to take it.
True.
Be mindful of that and be okay with that, but plan with that in mind. And that's pretty much it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just. I have another question. Man.
I mean, I'm chilling. If you want to shoot one more.
You want me or
that's between you and your God.
Yeah.
So. I think it's really interesting to be able to have, people interested in walking the path and committing to the path. But how do we communicate to those that are like curious about it and still make it enticing in a way it's anchored in reality? That is my final question.
I think you have to be honest about your financial situation and your stability.
Yeah.
Because there will be ups and downs. But
it's hard out here.
Yeah. Aside from finances, this industry is a machine, right? And it convinces you that in order to be successful, you have to be a part of the machine.
Yeah, no.
I'm here to tell you that that's not true. It's like, I'm like Morpheus right now, handing you that red or that blue pill.
It also depends on what your version of success is.
Of course.
Because everyone has an ideal version of what success is. But like for regular bitches, it's paying your bills.
Yeah. And that's
stress enough.
Yeah, honestly.
Don't call me. Do not call me. Do not call me.
Yeah, if you have a dope
and I was like, and also
and
do not contact my accountants unless you're instructed to.
Yeah,
because they also don't want to be contacted. Like but that's their job. But ultimately, like that's what they want to do. Like they want to make everyone happy. Like you know, But the way that money flows, it's very different.
Yeah.
You
there's always somebody that's less talented than you that's making it work right now.
I was trying to tell you that and finish a sentence.
I was trying to.
I know some,
I was trying to get there.
I know some guys that can't even hold a knife that are popping off right now. That aren't. Let me tell you a story.
Because I'm nosy as fuck, so I want to know who they are. But but it's okay. Don't drop their names.
I won't drop any names. But last summer I helped another concept out with a catering gig. I'll explain the catering gig on the back end of the story. But they said that they didn't have much prep work to do and it was going to be easy. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll agree to do it. So we pulled up to the church that they prep out of. They were about like an hour and a half late. As we were pulling off, they said that they were pulling up, and just to hold on, they get there, they pull up with a prep list, and it's like as thick as the Bible, of course.
Yep.
They said they were going to help us with prep work. I was missing like milk for like mac and cheese to make, and they went to go get milk. Mind you, there's like a Jewel around the corner, but they were gone for like 4 hours. So me and my homeboy Steven, shout out to Craven's Kitchen.
Fired.
We prepped the entire menu.
Fired.
We pull up to the venue late because of that, and we're scrambling, and like come to find out that this catering gig was for an elder lady who was dying of cancer, and she had like a month to live. And this dinner was for her close friends and family as like a farewell thing. So I'm just sitting there like, how are you late for this? Like, it's not even about the money at this point. Like, I would damn near do this shit for free personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
But they're popping off. You know what I mean? So like, if you care about what you do and it's genuine and it's authentic, you will do okay. It's just not going to be a straight and narrow path for most people. Absolutely. So just, if you want to do it, just commit to it.
Absolutely.
I did not want to do it. As soon as I did my like last catering job that I ever did, I realized that this is not what I want to be doing. What I want to be doing is changing how the industry is perceived. I love cooking. I love cooking for my friends. If they come to my home, I love cooking for my family. But I don't want to. I invited you multiple times.
I would love to be there. I would love to be there.
Okay.
I would love to be there.
But like,
can't wait to go.
The drive behind it has to be all in. Like, I want, and they like were very receptive to all my pricing, and like it wasn't even a situation where they were trying to like manipulate how it is I do. They wanted me to showcase food from Trinidad the way it's meant to be eaten, and I did that. But I think my heart lives in changing the industry from the outside perspective in, because I think that we as the people inside the industry are tired of the way that things have been. And we're already doing things that are changing it, like what you're doing, which is not being in a brick and mortar. That can come later, but like you're doing it from the context of, I really feel passionate about this, I love this, I want to do this. Respect.
So, with that said, if you ever want to collaborate, don't hesitate to hit me up. We could have a lot of fun for sure. We could have a lot of fun.
Well,
she dying.
As long as we got some doubles on the menu. Anyway.
But anyway, now we're closing.
In closing, how do the people find you, dog? But actually, no, let's back it up. Let's back it up.
How was your time?
How was your time with us?
I had a good time.
Nice.
We had that conversation at ABBA, and I think when you're an intuitive and empathetic person, you know who your people are, you know your tribe very quickly. And me and Justin had a great conversation, like instantly, and we spoke about being on here, and it went, with that in mind, this conversation went exactly as I thought it would go. It was genuine, it was open, and I had a good time. So
yay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fam, dog.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
up, Max? Hey.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. So how did the people find you?
You can find me on IG again at Diaspora, DIASPORA_Chicago. So
Perfect.
go ahead and give me a follow. Stay in tune with events, dinner parties, pop-ups. We're going to be busy this year.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
As you should be.
Yes.
Amazing. Right.
I mean, you were supposed to do it this time, and then I close out because we did the reverse.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it.
So, as always, shout out to not only the crew and Max, Jojo, who is newer to the crew, Blind Barber for hosting this necessary conversation, Lavelle Miller on behalf of Spearhead Spirits for supporting these necessary conversations as well. I
just got the joke you made at the end of the last episode. Damn.
I am so grateful, and I just I'm really excited for this year.
Yeah.
Finally, like I feel like I can exhale for a few different reasons, and it's something that I hold dear to my heart, and I'm so glad that you sat down with us, and I
Thank you for having me.
couldn't have done it without this amazing crew. So
Yeah, shout out to you and shout out to the crew.
thank you.
Yeah.
So so and also y'all can follow me. Yeah, I was like, and also y'all can find me on Instagram. At This Is Biko, but then also show some love at Terms of Service Podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
And also we're on YouTube. We're so not good at self-promotion, but also we don't need to be good at self-promotion. We don't need to be good at self-promotion because organically it's cute.
I love how you said
But it don't
we.
matter.
Yeah.
Bitch, that's my line. I'm bad at self-promotion. You're pretty good at it. We've gotten here.
That's
You're
fair.
out here in the streets finding people to come sit down and talk to us. Because I don't go outside.
Searching
But
a
listen,
flashlight. No.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in with us this day. And I am Nariba Shepherd. You can find me on Instagram at Rebaru, Rebaru. And we'll see you in 2 weeks-ish.
Peace.
Bye.